guys might think a JK with chrome side pipes is funny, and it kind of is, but I will say that it performed very well on this off-road trip. We went all the way up to the top of that mountain and back. Yeah, it sounds like my old 67 Vet with a tri-power. Early JK LS3 6L80. This JK has side pipes on it. Reminds me of being back in California in the 70s and 80s driving my Corvettes. I had side pipes on all sorts of stuff back then, and I got the burn knees to prove it. This has got some aftermarket side pipes. I think they actually look pretty good and they sound awesome. Not sure how good they're going to do with rock rails, but it definitely does set this JK apart. This JK has most of our latest technology. Easy motor mounts, no fabrication build, factory GM harness, MoCAN module, billet accessory drive, and that's what we're going to talk about on this test drive. Maybe show you some of those components rather than just drive around and ramble about emissions and things. There's a lot of different ways to do a swap in a JK, and we choose to do things different, as most of you know. We're dealing with the ARB in California, the BAR in California, General Motors. We need to get to a point where we make these conversions as factory as possible. We have to get away from aftermarket and hot rod components. Let's start with the billet brackets. The billet brackets are a solution to a problem that has really plagued the LS JK swap for a long time. And the accessory drive is a really important part of the swap. Not only the Hemi guys, but the GM guys and the diesel guys have had this issue. The most obvious thing is to put the accessories right back where they belong, and that's what we do with the billet brackets. We've been doing that for years, actually for about a decade. The first JKs that I built used the same layout, but they used cut and bend brackets. The easy engine mounts have really changed the way we do the swap. We can do swaps now without removing the body and just taking the front grille off, and of course we could do that before. But with the cut and grind mounts, meaning the weld-on mounts, they work great, but they are a lot more work. And really, to get into that engine compartment and do it right, you need to remove the body. Now you just drop these in, drop the motor in, and you're ready to go. Even some of the skid plate systems that go up to the motor mount can be used now with no modification. The easy mounts support both the Gen 4 and the Gen 5 motors. We're using a full-size hydraulic General Motors mount. We have tested these mounts on 500 horsepower engines, 40-inch tires, and we've had no issues. Now, of course, we've upgraded and improved them, and mainly we've improved them for adjustability, meaning you can now move your engine around in 3 axes. The heart of an engine conversion is the electronics. Most of you know that we are now using a CAN interface, and we're using factory production GM harnesses. By using factory production GM harnesses, we could talk about the benefits all day, and I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to say is, we have tried to distill this swap down to a point where you can buy a donor engine, take advantage of all the factory engineering and reliability and safety, dropping an engine into your JK with no fabrication required, plugging in your power distribution center, your chassis connector, and your interior harness, and then going. We're trying to approach this swap the way a manufacturer would, and we're actually talking with GM right now about our conversions and how to integrate GM technology into these conversions. By using the GM plug-and-play harness, the GM operating systems and calibrations, and we're not only staying legal, but we're making this swap as OE as we can, the way a manufacturer would do it. So guys, I know we've been quiet the last couple of months, but we've been working really hard on improving the install, not just for the kits, but our in-house installs. We're working hard towards making these things just like a manufacturer would. Running the GM harnesses, GM calibrations, and we're going for not only Cal ID, but CBNs, running the factory accessories, hoses, lines, no modifications to the frame, no modification to the chassis, is really going to change the way that these swaps are done.